Hello, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be doing the £20 makeup challenge, but it's going to be with makeup that's already in my collection as opposed to me like going to like Superdrug or Boots or something like people normally do in these videos and like buying a load of makeup and trying to keep to a £20 budget. I decided to kind of put a twist on it and just do it with makeup that's already in my collection because I'm the kind of person, I buy quite a lot of like cheap affordable makeup. So it was pretty easy for me to do. So all of the makeup products that I've picked are products that I actually like, so whether they're going to work together, that's another question, but individually I like all of the makeup that I picked out, which I think is good because I feel like in a lot of these videos people are quite negative and like they tend to go badly and people will kind of be quite judgmental about the products, but I think because I've done it this way I can actually like pick products that I know that I actually like. So I'm hoping that this is going to go well because of that. The total of the makeup products I picked out came to £19.50, so I've stuck to the budget. It was a bit challenging. There were some like kind of products that I would rather have gone for something a bit more expensive with, but I couldn't because then I'd have to sacrifice another thing. Obviously because it's makeup already in my collection, I had like a limited array of things I could choose from. I mean, unlike if you're going into Superdrug to do it, you can pretty much pick out anything you want. So I'm actually going to start with some eyeshadow because that's what I normally do. I've got 3 different products that I could use for eyeshadows. Some of them are kind of like multi-use things. But to start with, I will just like do a base on my eyelids, and the concealer that I've got to use, which I will obviously be using on the rest of my face as well when we get to that stage, is the Freedom Pro Camouflage Paste CF01. And this is £3, so this is pretty much the cheapest concealer that I own. I do have like a few that I got off Amazon when I did my full face of Amazon makeup video, but I just don't like them, so I thought I would pick something a little bit more expensive that I know that I actually like. I also really like using this concealer as a base for eyeshadow just because it's quite thick and like it does give pretty good coverage actually for a cheap concealer. I know some people do include brushes in these challenges, but I'm not going to do that because that would just be impossible. So I am using a Zoeva concealer brush just to paint on some of this concealer onto my eyelids. Yeah, I honestly have no complaints really about this concealer. It's a pretty good colour match as well. It's slightly too dark, but only ever so slightly. It's like I can get away with the colour. I mean, it doesn't really matter when it's my eyelids, but when I use it on the rest of my face. Should we zoom in? That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, because I've never actually tried one, but I feel like these little concealer jars are dupes for the MAC Painterly pots. Is that what they're called? I don't know, I could be wrong because I've never tried one, but just from what I've seen of those on YouTube. Alright, so I need to set that in place now, and the powder that I've got, which I'll also be using on the rest of my face, is the MUA Skin Define Hydro Powder with Vitamin E and jojoba, and this one is worth £3, and it's just like a very pale yellow toned setting powder. If I had the collection pressed powder on me, the £1.99 one, I would have used that, but I don't have that on me just because I would have saved an extra £1. But other than that, this is probably one of the cheaper ones that I own, and again I actually really like this. I think it's a decent pressed powder. I'm just getting a contour brush and I'm just going to set that concealer that I've put on my eyelids down. There we go, so we've got a base with some eyeshadow. Okay, so now time to move on to the eyeshadow itself. It's going to be very basic, very minimal, because I've only got 3 different products that I can use. And the first thing that I'll start with is the Makeup Obsession Contour Powder in C102 Light, and it is just a fairly pale bronzer shade. It is matte, there's no shimmer to it, and obviously I'll be using this to bronze my face as well, but it will also work as a nice transition shade for some eyeshadow. I did have a few different bronzers that were around the either £2.99 or £3 mark. I could have chosen like I have a collection bronzer I could have used. I've got a like Barry M eyeshadow that I use as contour product. That's like $2.99 I think. And I could have used an Essence bronzer. So I had a few things to choose from. But I thought I would just go with this Makeup Obsession one just because I don't use it that much. So, and I really like it, so I thought I'd use it. And also because I thought it would work well as an eyeshadow, a transition shade for eyeshadow, as well as bronzing up my face. So I'm just using a crease brush and I'm just gonna work some of this into my crease. Alright, so next I'm going to use this Essence eyeshadow. This is 01 Snowflake. This is £1 and it is literally a glimmery icy white shade. And I'm going to be using this for my highlight as well because it works really well as a highlight. But I may as well just use it on the base of my eyelids, and I'll probably put a bit under my brow bone as well. Yeah, just going to pack this on to give us some kind of intense glimmer on her eyes. Actually, I think I'll just use my finger to put this on. It is actually really pigmented. I'll use it under my eyebrow after I do the last bit of eyeshadow, but I'm just going to clean up the edge there. I'm just going to go back in with the contour powder and just very lightly blend those two shadows together. Okay. To finish off this eyeshadow look, I have the Freedom Mono eyeshadow in Nude 207. These are worth £1 and this is like a really dark coppery glimmery shade, and I thought I'd just pack some of this into my outer third to give it a bit of dimension and just to make it look a bit more complete, I guess. So what I'm going to do is get my crease brush again and just pack a bit of this to the outer third of my eyes. Again, this is a really good eyeshadow, super pigmented. Freedom do some really good mono eyeshadows and it's also really glimmery, so just gotta pack a bit of this to the outer third. Go back in with Essence, and as I said I would do, pop some of this under my brow bone. Well, that's the eyeshadow done. It's not the most extravagant eyeshadow look, but it's fine. I'm happy with it. For pencil liner, I have the MUA Intense Colour Eyeliner Jet Black, and these are worth £1. And I think for £1 they work pretty well. They're pretty damn pigmented. They're not the creamiest, but for £1 I didn't really expect it to be super creamy. But I am just going to line my top and bottom waterlines with this, and I might put it on like that part of my eye. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how it goes. I think I will pop a little bit of this on my, what's it called, your lash line area? I don't even know. I'll just pop a little bit on that bit too. I'm going to get a cotton bud and just smudge out that liner that I've just put on my lash line. Okay, so now we're going to finish off the eyes with some mascara, and the mascara that I picked out was the Freedom Curl Mascara, and this cost £2, and I think for £2 it's a pretty decent mascara. It's not the best mascara I've ever used, but for £2 I think it's pretty good. Like, it does give you some volume. I'm just going to curl my lashes as well. We're just going to do our top lashes for now, and we'll come back to the bottom ones later. But yes, I'm just going to coat the living daylights out of our lashes. Honestly, it's not a bad mascara for £2. Like, look, there's at least in volume and length going on there. I'm happy. So that's the eyes done for now. We will probably add some stuff to our lower lash line later on, but we're going to move on to some base products now. So primer definitely wasn't in the budget, so we're going to skip straight to foundation, and the foundation that I'm going to use is the Freedom Pro Matte Longwear Foundation Matte 02. This foundation costs £2, so it's probably the cheapest foundation that I own, but again, it's actually pretty decent for £2. Like, I don't hate this foundation at all. I think it's decent. It's not the best foundation ever, obviously, but I think for £2 it just does the job, and it's a pretty pale shade as well, which is great because I always struggle with that. So I'm just gonna apply a shit ton of this to my face. I'm just using a blending sponge, and I'm just gonna pack a severe amount of this on my face and see what we end up with. I walked into a metal cage at work yesterday, right on my nose, so this really hurts to blend the foundation on it. I'm surprised it hasn't left a giant bruise, to be honest, but this hurts, so being delicate in the nose area. Okay, so I've got some of that foundation on. It's definitely more of a light coverage foundation. It's not going to give you really amazing coverage or anything, but just evens out your skin tone, gives you a bit of coverage. It's not bad, honestly. So for concealer, I'm going to go back in with the Pro Camouflage Paste, and I'm just going to add this to all the areas where I need extra coverage. And again, I'll use my concealer brush to do this, so I'm just going to put a load under my eyes, on my nose, and on any spots and stuff. So you'll see what I do. So there you go, that is what the foundation and concealer look like. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm gonna again use the MUA Skin Define Hydro Powder to set all of that foundation and concealer down so it doesn't budge. Okay, so that is our base complete. We're now going to move on to some cheek products, and again I'll be using the Makeup Obsession contour powder to just bronze up my face a bit. I'm not really gonna like contour or anything, I'm more so just gonna warm up my face. Right, so I'm just popping this in my cheek area. I'll put a bit on my forehead and under my jawline. And for highlight, I'm again using the Essence 01 Snowflake eyeshadow. I'm just going to get a big fan brush for this, and this actually works really well as our highlight. For £1, it's pretty damn good. Look at this glow. Look at that glow. So we are glowing. Okay, moving on to eyebrows. This would be a perfect choice had this not be almost run out. That didn't make sense. This would be a perfect choice if this wasn't like almost ran out. But this is the Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara, and this is £2.50. And what's the shade? 02 Brownie Brows. And this is actually really good, but because it's like almost running out, it's not quite as abundant as it has been before. But we'll try our best, and I'm just going to kind of fill in my brows with this, give them a bit more shape and structure, and a bit of colour, obviously. I'm gonna wipe the foundation off my lips quickly. So I'm gonna go back with Essence Snowflake, and I'm just gonna pop a bit of this into the inner corners of my eye. And I'm going to go back in with, oh my god, I'm going to go back in with Makeup Obsession contour powder, and I'm just going to put some of this under my lash line. Right, I'm going to get a slightly smaller brush and go back in with the Freedom eyeshadow. I'm just going to pop a bit of this into the outer third of the lower lash line, just a little bit because I don't want too much fallout. Okay, and now we're going to go back in with the Freedom mascara and coat our bottom lashes with this. Okay, so that's our eyes done. Now we just need to finish it off with a lip product. And it was at this point I had $150 left in my budget, so I didn't have a lot to choose from. So I thought I'd go with a Makeup Revolution, one of their £1 lipsticks. And this is the Atomic shade Make It Right, and it's a like very deep plum purple vibrant colour, and ideally I wanted to go for something a bit more nude, but again I didn't really have much to choose from. So I think I'm going to apply this with like a little detailer brush to see if I can get a more kind of subtle application. Is that going to work? Who knows? Yeah, I'm just going to kind of paint this onto my lips and see if I can get a more subtle application. That doesn't look too bad actually. I quite like it when it's applied like that. I'm going to try and mattify it a little bit by getting some of the MUA powder on my finger and just kind of dab that over the top of the lipstick, just so it doesn't kind of slip off really easily. That's pretty much the look finished. Let's just polish it up a bit. Okay, well there you go. This is the finished makeup look. This is my £20 makeup challenge with makeup from my collection, and I'm pretty happy with the result. Like, I'm going to go out of this, I'm going to go shopping, so I would definitely leave a house looking like this. I'm honestly pretty impressed. I pretty much like all of the products that I've used. I don't really have any complaints or anything negative to say about anything because I like all the products, to be honest. I'd say my least favourite thing is probably the foundation. And my eyebrows don't look amazing, but that's mostly because the product is running out rather than the actual product is bad. The product's good, it's just because it's running out and they don't look quite as defined as I'd want them to. But that's okay. I do like the foundation, it's just not my favourite. It's the only really bad thing I could say. The eyeshadows work fine, the mascara's pretty good, the eyeliner's fine, and this lip product actually turned out pretty good as well. I was a bit worried that it would look a bit weird, but it looks fine. So, there you go. So again, this just goes to show you don't need to spend a fortune on makeup to achieve something presentable, because I'm happy with how this looks personally. So yeah, just goes to show what you can do with £20. Technically £19.50. Obviously that doesn't include like the brushes and stuff I've used, that like that would just be impossible if I was going to include those things. It just wouldn't work. So anyway, I'm off now. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in my next one.